Hey everyone, it's your favorite rogue Chirpy. I'm here again to bring you another guide video. This time I'll be showing you how to play Outlaw and top the meters on Mythic Terros. Be sure to like and subscribe for more guides and commentaries as well as tips and tricks you can use to be the best player possible. If you want to see cutting edge level content live, be sure to check out my stream at twitch.tv/chirpytv and drop a follow there so you never miss a stream. Thanks for watching, now let's get on to the video. Before we get into the pull, I want to show you my talent build and current gear setup that I use for this fight. The biggest changes to your standard Outlaw and Plus or Raid Cleave build come in the form of dropping Blade Rush for Ghostly Strike. Ghostly Strike is an ability that does a moderate amount of damage but causes all of your other abilities to do 10% more damage to the target for 10 seconds. With good Roll the Bones buffs, your goal is to keep as high uptime on Ghostly Strike as possible by weaving it into your standard rotation of building through ambush and pistol shot and spending with either Between the Eyes or Dispatch. The second change from the standard Outlaw build is taking Killing Spree, which is a pseudo-channeled ability that teleports you to your target, locks you in place, and deals a decent amount of damage. The main use of this ability, in my opinion, isn't to deal insane damage, but because it doesn't have an energy cost, this button can be used while you're pulling energy to give yourself time to regen for your next string of abilities afterwards. Something to note about Killing Spree is that it can put you in a very vulnerable position when not used at the proper time, so it's important to watch your bigwigs or DBM boss timers to ensure that when you're using the ability that you aren't going to be punished for it. This may take some time to learn, but with some practice and careful execution, it makes for a very strong filler ability. For this fight, and this fight only in the raid, I switch out one of my lesser rings for the Jeweled Signet of Elantris from the Court of Stars dungeon. This change, plus taking out Storm Eater's Boon and trading it for a controlled current technique, give me a slightly higher value on single target, giving me that little extra boost that I need to make sure I can top the meters. On my neck, I have Verse Heavy Crit Minor gems, and on my ring, I am running a primary stat and versatility gem. The third change to this build is Count the Odds. I put 1 point in Count the Odds, and this makes it so that way Ambush and Dispatch have a 10% chance to grant you a Roll the Bones combat enhancement buff you do not already have for 5 seconds. The duration and chance is doubled while Stealth, which means if you use Vanish and then Ambush or Vanish and then Dispatch, you can get a 10-second buff instead of a 5-second buff with a 10% chance of getting it. This is a pretty decent single target DPS increase for the build that I'm running on this fight. Now let's get on to the pull. To start the pull off, we're shrouding our team in so they can get closer, and we're going to open with Ambush into Between the Eyes, into more ambushes, into Slice and Dice. That's our standard single target opener, and then I'm going to get my Ghostly Strike on cooldown as soon as possible to be able to keep up that 10% increased damage from all of our other abilities. That's the main thing that you need to focus on whenever you're playing Outlaw. In my Afinar UI, I have a icon for Ghostly Strike that counts down how much time is left on my Ghostly Strike. So that tells me when I need to refresh it, and when it runs out, I know that I need to press it again. So here we're just continuing standard single target rotation, watching the mechanics, and really focusing in on how optimal your single target predictions are between watching your pistol shot procs and your hidden opportunity procs to get more ambushes is really going to help optimize your single target damage here. Something you can do to practice this is go to a target dummy in Valdrakken or anywhere else and see how much you can keep up your Ghostly Strike on the target. If you've noticed, this is my first Killing Spree usage because I was low on energy. So I'm only using my Killing Spree whenever I can't press anything else, or whenever I'm getting below 75, maybe 50 energy, and that will give me enough time during the Killing Spree to regen my energy all the way back up, so that way I'm ready to press Shadow Dance and start spamming ambushes to build up my pistol shots again. This boss does a couple of main mechanics in a set rotation. Our guild handles them in a very procedural way. We have all of our pillars lined up on the side there. As you can see, our tank will break the pillars, and everybody else soaks the circle that is inside. Meanwhile, your main goal in this is to keep as much uptime on the boss as possible, which should be near 100% if not 100%, and then maintaining your single target rotation to the best of your ability as well. I have my Slicing Maelstrom Trinket available, so I make sure I apply Ghostly Strike first, and then use my Maelstrom Trinket to get the extra 10% damage from it. Using these multipliers will help you max out the amount of damage that you can do in a single encounter on this fight. Whenever I have big buttons coming up, I always want to make sure that my Ghostly Strike is being used before I start pressing all of them, otherwise I'm losing 10% DPS throughout the course of the fight. If you look at the meters right now, I'm only currently sitting around 5th place, around 73k DPS, but Outlaw's strength isn't burst DPS. Outlaw's strength is high, consistent damage. So over the course of the fight, with different Roll the Bones procs, and different ambush procs, and pistol shot procs, I'll be able to increase my DPS the more efficiently that I'm able to press those buttons, and the more efficiently that I'm able to stay on the boss while doing these mechanics. During the Annihilation, we take the gate over, but I like to do a grapple hook instead, because during grapple hook, I can continue to press my buttons, so I get an extra global every time that everyone's taking the gate. I can press a global while I'm in grapple hook instead. You cannot press any buttons while you're in the middle of taking the gate. So I'm squeezing in one extra button per Annihilation phase in order to get out more damage compared to other people who might be... You can watch my rotation down at the bottom here to see when I'm pressing Ghostly Strike and how exactly I'm chaining it together with my other abilities. Make sure that it doesn't fall off as much as possible, and continue spending dispatches over between the eyes unless you have the Roll the Bones buff that gives you the extra crit for between the eyes, which looks like a little shark fin symbol. Right here I only have the energy buff, which is kind of unfortunate, but because of our talent tree with Count the Odds involved in there, we get extra buffs depending on our ambushes and our dispatch on a very low chance for a very short period of time. You can see right there, again, I was low on energy, I had Killing Spree available, so I made sure to use it to get my energy up, and I watched my Bigwigs timer to make sure that I had enough time to channel my full Killing Spree and still get out of the AoE. It's very important that any time that you're using Killing Spree, you have at least 3 to 4 seconds to react, and 3 to 4 seconds of freedom without being hit. We get another Annihilation here, I grapple hook over, and I'm able to continue hitting the boss while everyone else is stuck in the gate. The gate is very quick, but that one extra global is that little bit of extra DPS that helps push me over the edge. Right here, I get unlucky, I get 2 pillars stacked on top of me, so I cloak the damage to avoid being killed, or avoid proccing my cheat death. You can use your Cloak of Shadows to avoid most of the damage in this fight. And I like to save it for situations like the pillar there, or when I get the dot, which ticks very, very high, but I know that we have extremely good healers on our team, and I don't need to use my cloak for that mechanic specifically. Another thing for Ghostly Strike is if you use it while the buff is still on your target, your Ghostly Strike damage will also benefit from the extra 10% damage. So it's okay if you let Ghostly Strike fall off as long as you're applying it really soon, but you don't need to let it fall off. You can reapply it, and you want to reapply it as close to it falling off as possible to maximize the damage. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are, if you want to see more videos like this, and I hope to see you guys soon. Check out the stream, twitch.tv/trippytv, if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that. And the Discord link is also in the description below. Be sure to join that. I post all my updated things there before it even makes it onto YouTube. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.